a second here just to get into it. This is the book. What I'm trying to do is actually help put out information that the human doesn't really have access to yet. It is information of the words that have been placed before our eyes for us to find when it is time for us to transition out of the econ on me, personal to each and every one of us when we say it, to remind us it's not the econ on them. These are the words I'm talking about. Here's one right here, the econ on me. We know there's, oh, what do you mean the con on me? What con are we talking about? So much information, but I'm going to try to every day give little bits out. So please subscribe and send it to people. This is the understandings. You watch, channel, the History Channel, and they're talking about ancient aliens or ancient astronauts and such. This is way beyond ancient astronauts. This is understanding exactly what's happening and how the transition, once we do agree, oh, okay, yeah, they are here. They're the voice in our head. Those are the aliens. When you get to the level of being honest, and we start being honest with each other as a society, even though they're known as the angel and the devil on the shoulder, these aliens. They will literally, the angel shoulder side of them will tell you, keep it simple, beautiful, loving, when you can start applicating that in multiple areas of your life. The devil shoulder side of them will tell you, keep their secret. That's divide and conquer and selling the children into the enslavement. What we have to do is start communicating on what you have learned, what I have learned, what we all have learned, and have a collective information to help the children get, I like to say, from you may have learned 1 + 1 = 2 on how to deal with the voices. And each individual, as we grow up, has to relearn that. So nobody's learning multiplication, division, upper registry math, where getting up to the calculus and trig, calculus, to build upon what one generation learned to help the next generation on how to deal with the voice in our head, those aliens. The government doesn't like to talk about it. It's coming out. Of course, they're showing you there's UAPs, they're calling them now UFOs, whatever. Because the government's job is to protect you from foreign forces. The government can't protect you from the aliens, the voice in your head. That's a scary thing for a government whose job is to protect you. You can't blame the government. My God, we're talking about the aliens who gave us government and religion. God is real. Religion was alien gifted to help us learn and nurture a relationship with God. I don't want to get too deep into this. People get offended, but I can show you how all the religions are tied together. That's not today's video. But know that God is real. We live forever, and we're going through multiple lifetimes. Going to sleep in this body and then waking up in our next baby body. I like to say, look, the quick simple is the chicken or the egg. This question, right? What came first, the chicken or the egg? That is such a beautiful question because it has nothing to do with the chicken or the egg. Because it's an opportunity for us to say, well, okay, let's just say it was the chicken that came first. Let's just say it was the egg that came first. How was that created, the one that came first? Where did that come from? Okay, great, let's call it the egg for the moment. How did that get created? There's only one above nature, and we call that supernatural. Only one. That word gets thrown around. We know God is real. If you say, where did the Big Bang come from? Because both of those came from the Big Bang. It's an evolution in the physical. Where did the Big Bang come from? Science doesn't like to talk about things they can't put under a microscope or in front of a telescope. But if we ask this logical question, where did that come from? There's two answers, and I'd love to hear any third. Through the scientific method, reproducible results. What else is the answer beyond? Where did the Big Bang come from? There's two answers. One is something created itself from nothing. Everything has an origin. A tree has a seed. A human has the seed and the egg. Everything you see around you came from something and you can trace it back. Even plastics, the chemistry, we mined it, refined it. Everything has an origin. There's one that is above nature, supernatural, only one, and that is God. What created the Big Bang? Something, even if you want to say the Big Bang created itself, well, I'll even give you that for the moment. Is That's a godlike thing to do. Something created itself from nothing. We know God is real. Or having always existed. I like to touch on this because it helps people grasp the concept and get it. I'll go into religion another time, but it's what the aliens gave us to help us nurture a relationship with God. Before we had a just us system, talking about dictionary words. I'm battling to get this information out. It's just us, that thin blue line, the just us system. But before we had a just us system, they used hell as a Santa's naughty list, a fear. Now it's the fear of going to jail. If you fear that, some people would rather, you know. Anyway, let's just focus in on where we're at. They teach us through words. The just us system is one of those words. Just us. Government. The aliens gave us government to help organize and nurture water, power, protect you from the outside military, protect you from the inside because of the inequality that goes away in the future when we phase out the econ on me and actually do it the right way. And we can do this. It takes a while, but within the first voting cycle of yesterday's, I was talking about democracy, remove mocking God, Ra, when you understand Egyptian sun god, see, vision and understanding. Democracy. Remove mocking God's vision for us by making loving decisions with our vote. But the system isn't set up for that. The system is set up so that you can get over on somebody. I get it for a penny, I'm going to charge you $1. That's what the econ on me is. Multiple reasons why it's called a con. One of those is because we're doing wrong towards each other. But the government's job is to govern the mint. Their job is to take in that money, make sure that you have a military to protect you from those other humans who we perceive as against us. It's just different cultures were raised a different way. So to keep a distance apart, because we're overpopulating like locusts. War is a form of population control when you truly understand. We're overpopulating like locusts. It's unsustainable. 200 years ago, we got to 1 billion. That's how, 200 years ago, all the time man has been on this planet. It took us till 200 years ago to get to 1 billion. In that 200 years, we added 7 billion people to this planet. Absolutely unsustainable. War is a form of population control. Even the word population, pop, papa, pa, common, papa, in multiple cultures around the planet, but in our English speaking language. And it's not always the origin of the word, it's how civilizations evolve to how the word is going to, what the word is going to mean. But papa, pa, pop, you. The next word, a biblical term to have intercourse, sex with somebody, is called to lay with them. Shun. So you have this word that says pop, you, lay, shun. Father, you want to have intercourse. If your goal is not to have a baby, which, if you're honest with yourself, when you had your first child, was it a Planned Parenthood? About 70 to 90%, oops, hey, we got this. Me and you, we got this. We're overpopulating like locusts. Even the word teaches, if your goal is not to have a child, you want to shun that. Pop, you, lay, shun. Father, you want to have intercourse? Shun that if your goal is not to bring a child in. How embarrassing to bare your ass from the inside. Another word that teaches in bare ass. To be bare ass naked, but from the inside, and how we feel and what we've learned from our mistakes. How embarrassing to communicate a lesson learned, right? Oh, I gotta have my perspective. I want people to perceive me as never having made a mistake when there's such amazing life lessons to share. But population, how embarrassing to talk about sex, right? We talk about it with our hand over our mouth, shoulders up to our ears. Hee hee hee. But the truth is, there's many ways to orgasm without bringing a child in. Just imagine, I mean, ladies understand this. Oh, their first time, how wonderful the man was, how experienced and knowledgeable in orgasming a female the young men are, right? Of course, it was a horrible experience, and they, let's go with the other side of it, the joke side of it. They've thrown away all their toys. They're ready to now raise your children and wash all your clothes and throw away all their toys. Of course not. It's a horrible experience. They understand why now toys exist for sexual pleasure, and question, why did I even do that? That's what it's all. That's the magic of it. We have to rethink why we're bringing children in and how we're overpopulating. I don't want to beat this up too much. The aliens are a part of that. They're the ones who make you hard, hot, and horny. There are aliens with horns. That might be scary to some, but it's just what is. The alien race known as the bull, sometimes known as cow, and they're talking about making a change. And that's why it's called cow words. They teach us through words, many levels above the second grader aliens. That voice in your head, there are many levels above them. Their job is to raise the human. Just like you're a parent raising your child, guess who's helping you raise that child? The voice in your head. Well, there's many levels above them. They're raising the child of the human, and they have a voice in their head helping them. Many levels above. I call that the pyramid of flesh and bone. Monkey, man, alien, higher evolved alien, higher evolved alien. Multiple levels above. And when you're in tune with that, there's a 4-pack of multiple levels above in your life. Not just the second grader aliens. It's in tune with the 4. When you move your mouth the way they want you to move your mouth, your chin moves for chin. But how do we pronounce that word? Right? How do we spell that word, I should say? Fortune, but it's spelt in tune with the 4, T-U-N-E. So it's understanding that there are words that teach us. When you're in tune with the 4 and you're moving their chin, the aliens are trying to move my chin right now. They can do things. Let me refocus. When you're in tune with the 4 and you're saying, they ask you to tell people things at times that aren't always truthful. See, I talk about what they don't want us to talk about. You can see how frustrating and challenging it is to get this information out when you're battling the voice in your head, the aliens that raising the humans and sort of have domain over this planet. They're known as the angel and the devil on the shoulder. God is real. The devil is the level above, and how they treat the level below. Look how we treat the animal. The Fauci experiments. We'll do whatever we want to the level below, and we can justify it by saying, look, we're doing experiments that's going to help the human. We'll do whatever we want to them as a species. Well, guess how the alien sees us? I'm giving you the 5-second version, but let me refocus and go into saying you're in tune with the 4, you're moving your chin for chin. But it's we spell it in tune with the 4 tune. Who's the boss of the job? 4 man, 4 head. They help you forgive. They can block you from thinking on something. Forget. The 5-second version of this stuff I'm giving you. But there's many levels above. They've raised us from caveman baby, but we have to start talking about it. They've raised us with a bridle in our mouth and whipping us if we don't do what we're told. They can pet you and take care of you too. They do have a love for us, just like the human has love for a child. Or I should say even the fur babies, right? Your dogs and your cats. But sometimes it's like, get outside, get outside. They perceive they have to discipline us. We can't even talk about it. That has to change. And we have to be able to educate the kids that you don't have to do everything they say, that they can puppet your thoughts, desires, impulses, and cravings. I just wanted to touch on some words that help teach us. Way before we understood that there were CFCs, right, that destroy the ozone. We called spray cans what? Aerosol. Missing a T. When you understand T stands for love and spirituality. When you're not good lovingly and spiritually, they say, how very not T of you. You're being not T. So when a word is missing a T or has a silent T, you want to take a look at it because it's usually has to do with this word is teaching us that we're not being lovingly and spiritual, like assault, air assault cans, aerosol. Missing the T isn't in the word, but it's missing. It's just, we're assaulting the air. We now know that we were assaulting the air with aerosol cans. What letter is it missing to say the word z, aerosol? That T. Not T. When you're being not T, you're not being good. When we go on a military, when we start war, we're sore. Oh, it hurts on the T. Sore T. If you know what the word sortie means, soar on the love and spirituality. When we're done going to war, what do? We grow a tree of A, B, C. No, a tree of T. Some religions have a small t. It's because they're teaching you about God, but they took some dangerous and controlling liberties. Not the religious people, not the popes, not the pastors, not the clergy or the deacons, not them. That's what they were taught. The aliens are teaching us about God, but taking some dangerous and controlling liberties with religion to keep us separate from the other religions for the moment, because I can show you how they're all tied together. And we do pull together as a planet. That's the goal. But we're overpopulating like locusts. So we have to have some division that will keep that friction and fire going. But we can pull it together, but it takes us talking about it. I wanted to touch on the word. I got my book, I have a whole dictionary section. And aerosol cans, missing the T. So remember, not T, love and spirituality. The word mortgage, what letter is silent in the word morgue? Age. The day and age that we live in is the morgue age. What letter is silent? The T. All right. Peace and love to you.